morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to the Bosch Report. Today, we're taking a look at two companies which should have actually performed better amid pandemic conditions. And we're speaking today about Grace Kennedy or the Grace Kennedy Group, as well as Agostini's Limited. Now, both companies would have generated better performance, and the big question on the minds of investors would obviously be, as economies start to reopen and as consumption patterns begin to normalize, will this performance continue or persist? Well, we consider that today. So let's take a look firstly at Grace Kennedy Limited. And for the 9-month period ended 2020, the group reported an earnings per share figure of just around 21 cents, which was a 35% increase from the 15 cents recorded in the prior comparable period. Now, revenues were up just around 11.8%, which was quite commendable, from 3.5 billion TT equivalent to 3.9 billion TT equivalent. Expenses were also up just around 9.2%, so less than proportionately, from 3.4 to 3.75 billion. Overall profit before taxes were up a whopping 51% from 223 to 338 million TT equivalent, and net profit attributable to equity holders improved that 35.3%. When we look at some of the major contributors to this performance, we can see that the money services segment in that salmon color would have improved just around 20% over the comparable period, from 109 million to 140 million in profit before taxes by segment. And that would have been attributable to increases in its Western Union business, Grace's Western Union business. And that was driven by increased registration of customers, which they reported as an increase of 220%. And an increase in the number of transactions by 400%. And certainly that would have been influenced by the social restrictions that would have been in place, particularly in Jamaica as well as Guyana to a large extent. We can also see that the food trading business increased a whopping 86% period on period, from 73 million TT equivalent to 136 million TT equivalent. And again, that would have been driven by changes in consumer patterns over the pandemic period. As things begin to normalize, of course, investors will ask the question, will these earnings or will these profits normalize? As we can see, for the past 3 prior periods, profits from that food trading business or food trading segment would have been between 60 to 73 million TT equivalent. And similarly, from that money trading business or segment, averaging between or ranging between 109 to 115 million. So again, that's a big question. Will these profits be sustainable going forward? We can see that this improvement or these changes in consumption patterns would have improved operating and profit before tax margins for Grace Kennedy, with that operating profit margin increasing to 8.9% after hovering around the 6% level for 9 months of 2018 and 2019. And that profit before tax margin also improving from around that 6.3 to 6.4 level in 2018 to 2019 period to just around 8.8% in the first 9 months of 2020. So certainly, Grace would have benefited, or Grace is benefiting quite significantly from changes in consumption patterns. And again, the question is, can they sustain it? So at a price of $3.69, Grace Kennedy's stock is trading at a price earnings ratio of around 14 times, which is pretty much in line with the conglomerate sector average of around 14.4 times, and offers a dividend yield of 2.5%, which is again in line with the sector average of 2.4%. So on that basis of relatively fair valuations, the fact that it does pay US dividends, which is a quite attractive proposition, that they would have generated improved margins, although the question mark is out there in terms of sustainability. And of course, with that still lingering economic uncertainty, Bosch maintains a neutral rating on Grace Kennedy. Turning quickly to Agostini's Limited, and for their full year ended September 2020, the group reported an earnings per share figure of $1.83, which is a 4% increase from the $1.76 reported in the prior comparable period. Revenues were up 4.7% from 3.27 billion to 3.42 billion. Overall operating profits were also up around 12% from 246 to 276 million. This was offset by increased finance costs from about 40% of an increase from 26 to 36.4 million. Overall net profit attributable to equity holders did increase as well by that 3.4% odd. We can see Agostini would have also benefited in terms of two of their key segments, pharmaceutical and healthcare, as well as fast-moving consumer goods in that orange and yellow segment, respectively. again, because of changing trends in terms of consumption over the pandemic period thus far. The pharma and healthcare segment would have increased about or improved in terms of operating profits by around 25 odd percent. Fast moving and consumer goods would have increased just around 10.4%. So the pharma and healthcare would have been fairly obvious: masks, medicines, etc. The fast-moving consumer goods would have, Agostini, through some of its subsidiaries, distributes items such as Clorox, Clean Bleach, and Pine Sol, which would have certainly increased, in our view, in terms of demand over the past few months. And that would have contributed to an overall improvement in the profitability of those particular segments. And we can see industrial, construction, and holdings, that particular segment would have fallen from about 24 million in operating profits to just around $14 odd million. Again, Agostini has been a model of efficiency in terms of being able to convert every dollar of revenue into higher operating profits, as well as profits before taxes. And we can see that evidence in the increasing operating profit and PBT margins. And we can see there's a nice positive upward trend over the past 4 comparable periods. So again, the company or the group continues to refine their operations to the benefit of shareholders. So at a price of $24.49, Agostini is trading at a price-earnings ratio of just around 13.4 times, which is well below the sector average of 26.4 times, albeit that the sector average would have increased because of lower earnings across the board, with the exception probably of Agostini. And Agostini, the stock offers investors a dividend yield of 3.3%, which is well above the dividend yield of 2.5% for the sector. So on the basis of relatively attractive valuations, however, again, the question mark will linger as to whether this performance can be sustained as the pandemic sort of appears to be coming to an end, with vaccines becoming widely available or soon to become widely available, and that cyclical demand at risk of moderating or reverting to the mean. And again, because of economic uncertainty, BORS is going to maintain its neutral rating on Agostini Limited for the time being. Well, that's it for this week's edition. For more information, of course, you can give us a call at 226-8773 or to BORS, email us at invest@borsfinancial.com, or check out our website at borsinvestment.com. And of course, you can find our article today in the business section of the Bigger, Better Trinidad Guardian. That's it for this week. Have yourself a wonderful investing week ahead. This has been the BORS Report.